know you want me, but I'm bad company. You got to listen to my words.
Nice to see you. We looking into Jen Soto, why she hasn't been arrested. Well, I know why she hasn't been arrested, okay? I truly believe, and I said this at the very beginning, that I was kind of iffy whether she was going to be arrested or not, because I truly believe that Stefan preyed upon her. You know, she's not the best looking woman. Not that she's ugly or anything like that. I'm not saying that. But he was a very, very good looking guy. You know, you kind of expected a guy like him to have arm candy. And
we spoke one-on-one with Jennifer Soto last Tuesday. Good afternoon. I'm Darlene Jones.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. At that point, her daughter Madeline had been missing for 1 day. She told us that Stefan Stearns, her boyfriend and now the prime suspect in Madeline's death, had taken the teenager to school. She said the last conversation she had with the 13-year-old was the night before. But this report we got a hold of today shows she told deputies she saw her daughter the morning of her disappearance. Channel 9 investigative reporter Shannon Butler has been digging into the details of this case. She joins us live in studio. And Shannon, that's not the only thing you noticed in this new report.
Greg, no one has been charged in Madeline Soto's death, but we do know investigators are looking into who knew what and when. And some of that means looking at those initial interviews of the couple and the ones later on. Sources tell me the statements about the timeline are not consistent. Jennifer Soto told us last week that the last conversation she had with her daughter was about her 13th birthday party the night before Maddie disappeared.
I told her goodnight and yeah, that was it.
But according to documents, Sunday night was not the last time Soto saw Maddie. New documents show that Maddie's mom told deputies on February 26th that she saw her daughter getting dressed for school at 8 o'clock that morning, and that her boyfriend then took the teen to school. But since that initial report was taken, we learned from the Orange County Sheriff that Maddie was likely dead earlier than that.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time, and that Stefan Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day.
Channel 9 has been going through statements from Stephen Stearns and Soto trying to piece together what happened in the last few hours of the little girl's life, starting with our interview of the couple. Her mom told us last week.
We dropped her off at school, close to school. She wanted to walk the rest of the way.
But in that same interview, then said,
I wasn't the one who took her to school in the morning. That was my partner. But yeah.
Detectives believe Maddie was likely dead early Monday morning because a video timeline shows Maddie's belongings being dumped in a dumpster at 7:35 by Stearns. At 8:19, Sheriff Mina said video shows Maddie in Stearns' vehicle believed to be deceased. Since then, the case has moved to Kissimmee Police, and sources tell us that Soto has been interviewed multiple times by detectives at 2 agencies, and that they are looking closely at all the statements she's made. But officially, Kissimmee Police won't comment. So this initial report also shows that Stearns told investigators that after Maddie got out of his car, she stopped to look in that book bag before he drove away. That same book bag was found actually in the dumpster. After her death, he then said he went home for about an hour after going to the vape store and running errands. He was home that day until 2:30. Detectives say a tip showed him changing a flat tire not far from where the little girl's body was found that afternoon.
All right, Shannon, it is starting to piece together. Thank you. We also spoke to suspect Stefan Stearns before he was arrested. He also told us he dropped off Madeline for school the morning of her disappearance.
She was asleep for most of the way. Told her have a good day at school when she got out. I love her. She said thanks, love you too. That was it.
Again, law enforcement believes Stearns never drove Madeline to school and that she was already dead
but he was
that
a very,
morning.
very good looking guy. You know, you kind of expected a guy like him to have arm candy. And not that anything's wrong. I saw some of the younger, she's got a beautiful smile, you know, and what have you. But I truly believe he preyed upon her for her daughter. I believe she was duped. I believe she had psychological stuff. I think that she utilized psychological medication that made her sleep a lot. I honestly believe that he may even have given her extra medication at night. These were things that I stated at the very beginning because she truly believed he had no part of it. And everybody's like, well, why would she lie to law enforcement? Because when somebody has that much control over you, not only mentally, but psychologically, like he had a lot of control over Jen Soto. And I know people are angry and may disagree with my opinion on this, but this is an opinion I've had that was unpopular when I said it back in the day when this all broke off, because you got to remember Madeline Soto and Sebastian Rogers both disappeared at the same time. And when I looked at the mother, I saw, you know, I've had experiences like this. And even though I didn't have children, and thank God I didn't, but I've had experiences where a man was very much in control over me and did horrible things and then lied to my face, and I absolutely was hook, line, and sinker and stood up for them, and stood up for him, and tried to fight the battle. And I just believe that, you know, the whole reason why she lied to law enforcement, because she didn't think she was lying. I think that he had it in her mind, if she didn't do this, they were going to think he did it. And Jen, you know me. You know I would never do anything. I don't know what happened. I dropped her off at the church. She wanted to go to the church. She was arguing. She was being fussy. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. If you don't say this just like this, they're going to look at me. We can't I did nothing. I love her. I love her like a daughter. You see what I'm saying? There was something that went on behind the scenes, in my opinion. Now, I don't have any evidence of this. I just have, you know, I look at people's behaviors and I try to understand and justify why people do some of the things they do. And the justification could be that it's innocent, and some opinions are it was willful. This is one where I feel that there were red flags there, but I don't think she let her mind believe that he was doing that. You know, there was probably I have to think that Madeleine had to start showing some behavioral, like she was starting to be a bad kid or starting to act out. I have to think that there was some behavioral stuff going on with Madeleine at the time, and she was probably thinking it was some of this poor behavior that Madeleine was showing, but Madeleine was showing that poor behavior because of the stuff that was going on. That's kind of what I believe. I for a fact have dealt, because we met with a lot of people. This is years ago when Paula Miranda Rosa disappeared out there in Osceola at that reserve. You know, many people don't believe she was taken by a gator. Law enforcement wants us to believe that she was unalived by a gator, but they did DNA of the water. There's not a sign of her, not one stitch of belonging that was attributed to her being surfaced. You know, you would think an earring, you know, they're doing a death roll under it. You think that some clothing might have fallen off and floated to the surface or something like that. None of that happened. When you get to the car, her wallet, her phone, her keys, and a towel draping over the back as if it appeared that somebody had dried off and was trying to dry off their towel. So it kind of brought in a whole different type of people into that case. What the fuck?